In the forgotten corners of ancient lore, where frostbitten winds whisper timeless secrets, an unsettling revelation emerges. The old Norse prophecy, long buried in fragmented manuscripts, declares that Ragnarok, the doom of all worlds, will ignite its first spark in 2026. This proclamation, carried through sagas etched by trembling hands, resurfaces today with haunting clarity. Scholars once dismissed the omen as mythic exaggeration, yet recent cosmic signs echo its warnings, urging humanity to reconsider the turning gears of fate approaching swiftly. The prophecy describes an impending winter unlike any endured before, a cold darkness pressing against mortal breath. Not merely weather, it foretells a spiritual freeze, a thinning barrier between realms, allowing ancient forces to emerge from shadowed slumber. As 2026 nears, eerie natural patterns mirror the prophecy's earliest symbols. Storms grow erratic, skies dim prematurely, and strange auroras dance unnaturally across northern horizons, as if unseen giants stir beneath the firmament, summoning energies older than time. Norse seers spoke of a cosmic imbalance, a subtle shift that awakened primordial tensions. Their sacred runes warned that when harmony breaks, the nine realms would tremble together, signaling the first tremor of Ragnarok's long-foretold cycle. Paragraph 635 words the ancient texts proclaim that wolfish shadows stretch farther during the final days. These metaphoric beasts represent devouring uncertainties, entities eroding stability. The seers insisted these shadow wolves would begin circling humanity when the fateful year secretly marks its approach. In 2026, according to the prophecy, Fenrir's hunger awakens symbolically, not through physical manifestation, but through escalating chaos-disrupting order. Every fracture in global unity becomes an echo of the monstrous chain rattling against destiny's tightening grip. Volva priestesses describe visions lit by crackling blue fire, warning of a time when mortals would ignore ancient caution. They foretold that modern civilization, proud of its progress, would fail to perceive subtle cosmic warnings until too late. These visions included images of towering waves, scorched fields, and trembling earth, not as divine punishment, but as natural consequences of cosmic cycles. The prophecy insists the universe breathes in epics, and 2026 marks an exhale of disruptive force. The scrolls recount celestial wolves pursuing the sun and moon, symbolic of heavenly rhythm faltering. When their chase intensifies, eclipses grow significant, not merely astronomical events, but markers of the world's waning spiritual equilibrium. According to runic translators, specific sequences describe humanity entering an age of confusion before cosmic upheaval. Conflicts multiply, trust erodes, and strange alliances form, reflecting the fracturing bonds predicted to precede the first spark of Ragnarok. The prophecy suggests that during this prelude, voices once ignored will rise with startling accuracy. Modern researchers revisiting forgotten manuscripts find patterns aligning with current global shifts, reviving concerns dismissed as ancient superstition only decades ago. Legends explain that Ragnarok begins not with explosions, but with the quiet unraveling of certainty. The year 2026 symbolizes a pivot, initiating a slow cascade of events challenging humanity's perception of stability, urging introspection amidst the noise. The ancient storytellers spoke of a quivering world tree, Yggdrasil's roots strained by unseen forces. Its trembling signifies deep imbalance across realms, hinting that events unfolding in human life reflect cosmic tension beyond mortal comprehension. Interpreters argue that environmental changes correspond to the trembling roots. Rising storms and shifting climates were foreseen as earthly manifestations of pressure building across realms. The prophecy insists humanity must notice these warnings rather than dismiss them. One manuscript describes a red horizon stretched thin. Scholars believe this symbolizes global unrest reaching a threshold. As 2026 approaches, political tensions rise globally, echoing the prophetic image of a horizon glowing with precarious, fiery uncertainty. Another passage mentions voices from the north calling through trembling ice. This poetic line refers not to literal cries, but to hidden truths resurfacing. Ancient wisdom, once frozen in obscurity, begins thawing when humanity requires guidance most. The prophecy warns that illusions will crumble, exposing uncomfortable realities. Societies built on fragile foundations may fracture, revealing vulnerabilities long concealed. This subtle unraveling forms the ceremonial doorway through which the first breath of Ragnarok enters. In Norse tradition, cycles of destruction and rebirth maintain universal balance. Ragnarok is not ultimate doom, but necessary transformation. According to prophecy, 2026 heralds the dismantling phase, pushing humanity toward renewal through trials, shaping future resilience. Still, the texts caution that those unprepared for such transformation will feel overwhelmed. The prophecy encourages awareness, urging humanity to observe obvious signs, shifting tides of power, unpredictable tempests, and strange cosmic anomalies growing harder to ignore. The seers describe the shaking of prideful towers, metaphorically referencing institutions that dominate human life. These towers topple not through physical collapse, but through moral erosion, misjudgment, and the resurfacing of long-buried truths demanding accountability. Paragraph 22, 35 words, part of the prophecy highlights strange animal behaviors preceding the first stage of Ragnarok. Historical accounts mention creatures acting erratically. Modern observers note similar patterns, aligning disturbingly with warnings once thought symbolic or exaggerated. The runes claim that when nature's rhythm falters, humanity must prepare for a dramatic shift. Earth's pulse, they wrote, would grow irregular, reflected in storms, quakes, and unexpected climate surges foreshadowing the approaching cosmic tide. A cryptic stanza reveals that when iron sings without forge, humanity enters the prelude to chaos. Scholars interpret this as technology behaving unpredictably. Digital failures and global disruptions may represent the modern equivalent of prophetic iron singing. The prophecy predicts that dreams would intensify during the final approach. People across the world may experience vivid visions, feeling subtle echoes of ancient energies awakening. These dreams prepare consciousness for a world shifting toward unfamiliar spiritual frequencies. Old myths mention Heimdall, guardian of cosmic thresholds, listening for rising tensions. Modern interpreters believe this symbolizes heightened intuition among humanity. As 2026 draws near, more individuals report sensing disturbances beyond normal explanation. Another sign foretold involves the seas growing restless. The saga spoke of waves striking unusually, reflecting imbalance spreading from realm to realm. Today's unpredictable tides mirror the ancient warnings describing the ocean's response to shifting cosmic alignment. The prophecy asserts that animals of the deep would behave strangely as boundaries weaken. Reports of unusual marine activity coincide eerily with this expectation, fueling speculation that ancient forces stir in waters older than recorded human civilization. According to seers, fiery symbols will mark significant moments leading toward cosmic change. These symbols appear metaphorically as sudden bursts of conflict, unexpected flares of emotion, and events sparking global debate, reflecting the elemental fire rising beneath destiny. The ancient texts warn that mistrust will spread like winter frost. Nations, communities, and even families may feel its influence. This emotional freeze symbolizes the early stage of Fimbulwinter, the 3 great winters preceding Ragnarok's ultimate crescendo. During Fimbulwinter, the prophecy describes a world where warmth weakens, both physically and spiritually. Compassion dwindles as survival instincts sharpen. The first hints of this atmospheric chill appear when humanity prioritizes conflict over cooperation, signaling the turning point. The seers foresaw that before 2026, truth itself would fracture, creating confusion. Competing narratives blur reality. This prophecy resonates today with unparalleled intensity as misinformation saturates modern channels, clouding collective judgment. One manuscript speaks of 7 veils dropping one by one. Each veil symbolizes ignorance peeling away as hidden forces reveal themselves. The prophecy places the penultimate veils fall precisely around the time humanity steps into the threshold year. The Norse believed time circles rather than advances linearly. Thus, the prophecy claims that 2026 echoes ancient cycles. What occurred in forgotten ages returns transformed. Humanity faces not an ending, but an ancient pattern resurfacing with modern implications. The prophecy includes references to the waking serpent beneath the world. Though symbolic, it describes rising pressures within Earth's core and consciousness. It represents change pushing upward, preparing to break through and reshape everything familiar. Elder monks wrote of a period when voices of ancestors would whisper guidance. Many now feel a pull toward forgotten traditions, mythology, and inner wisdom. This resurgence reflects prophetic predictions of ancient memory resurfacing before transformation arrives. A chilling line in the text warns, when darkness learns to mimic light, beware. This cautions against deceptive influences appearing benevolent. The prophecy implies such forces emerge more boldly in the period leading toward Ragnarok's awakening. The seers described a moment when humanity questions its very identity. Such existential doubt signals the crossing into a new cosmic phase. The year 2026 marks this psychological trial, challenging every assumption humanity once considered immovable. Though ominous, the prophecy emphasizes preparation rather than fear. It urges awareness of shifting tides, calling humanity to strengthen unity and wisdom. The beginning of Ragnarok is not a command to despair, but a summons to rise. A powerful stanza describes the forging of unseen alliances. During this period, unexpected partnerships form to confront growing challenges. The prophecy predicts that humanity will witness transformative cooperation emerging from previously unimaginable places. The scrolls warn that the greatest danger lies in ignoring intuitive warnings. Signs appear subtly at first, growing louder as the threshold approaches. The prophecy insists that by 2026, these signs become impossible to overlook. Another text mentions the stirring of forgotten gods. Scholars interpret this as a metaphor for dormant human potential awakening. Creativity, resilience, and courage rise within individuals, reflecting divine forces resurfacing to prepare humanity for change. The prophecy explains that shadows lengthen when destiny shifts. These shadows symbolize challenges surfacing from hidden corners. They appear not to destroy humanity, but to force evolution, strengthening the collective spirit for the trials ahead. A mystical verse describes the roar heard without sound. This represents a global shift sensed internally rather than audibly. Humanity feels an approaching climax as if destiny vibrates through consciousness, signaling that the foretold year draws close. The ancient writings suggest that technology will falter unexpectedly. These disruptions symbolize the unraveling of mortal constructs when cosmic realignment intensifies. Humanity must adapt swiftly, embracing flexibility as familiar systems encounter unprecedented strain. A prophetic declaration claims that the sky will speak in colors. This refers to unusual atmospheric displays mirroring the energy changes between realms. Auroral anomalies and strange celestial events align eerily with this ancient description. The sagas warn that those who cling tightly to old structures will struggle most. Transformation requires openness. The prophecy encourages releasing outdated beliefs, embracing new perspectives, and preparing for a world reshaped by cosmic evolution. A powerful stanza notes that heroes are forged during twilight. As darkness and light converge symbolically, extraordinary individuals emerge. These figures guide others through uncertainty, reflecting the prophecy's claim that leadership awakens precisely when most needed. The prophecy portrays a world trembling yet awakening. Humanity stands between past and future, between order and chaos. The year 2026 marks the boundary stone of this transition, signaling the first footsteps of Ragnarok approaching reality. Old seers insisted that the beginning is not catastrophic but subtle. Signs accumulate gradually until undeniable. Humanity must recognize the pattern, for only then can individuals navigate the shifting world with clarity rather than fear. The prophecy speaks of runes glowing in minds unprepared. Knowledge emerges spontaneously within many, revealing truths instinctively understood. This awakening reflects humanity's connection to ancient wisdom rising once more as transformation approaches. Paragraph 52, 35 words, another manuscript emphasizes that the brave will feel the call first. Those sensitive to change recognize incoming shifts before others. Their intuition becomes the early alarm, echoing the horn of Heimdall before it sounds. The texts describe a moment when humanity stands on the precipice of destiny, facing uncertainty yet holding unimaginable potential. Ragnarok's beginning in 2026 represents not annihilation, but initiation into a new era shaped through trials and awakening. The prophecy concludes that after the first signs emerge, a period of profound growth follows. Through hardship, individuals discover strengths hidden for generations. Humanity evolves, preparing to rebuild a world infused with deeper understanding and unity. Though ancient, the words carry a timeless message. The foretold year acts as a cosmic mirror, revealing both humanity's fragility and extraordinary resilience. Transformation awaits, but the prophecy clarifies that hope remains intertwined with every challenge. As 2026 approaches, the prophecy's whispers grow louder, urging awareness and courage. The beginning of Ragnarok marks not a fall, but a transition toward greater wisdom. Humanity steps into the unknown guided by ancient echoes. And so the prophecy stands, etched in myth and memory. Ragnarok begins its first subtle stirrings in 2026, not to erase humanity, but to awaken it. The cycle turns, destiny shifts, and a new world prepares to rise.